Elf news, you sick bastard!
So I have the good graces to live in one of the very few but ever-growing list of states where recreational marijuana is permitted. There's still a lot of medicinal marijuana around, and only because it's vastly cheaper, like, I don't know, half the price, a third the price. And my big question is, how tolerant is this state? Did you know if you have a medical marijuana card and you register, you can have 15 pot plants in your house in Washington State? You can have up to, I don't remember what it is, like a pound of marijuana around in your house at any given time. I mean, that's a tremendous amount. So my question is, how legally binding is a podcast? How evidentiary is a podcast? Like, if I were to say right now that I have 15 pot plants in my garage, which I would be, in this hypothetical, growing badly, I didn't buy any lights or anything. There's lights, but they're not like grow lights. So like if, the cops were to check my power bill, they wouldn't see anything out of the ordinary. And I don't even think the heat coming off the garage would be enough to notice from the street. But if I were to say that, I guess maybe my question is, do I have more fans on here or more enemies? Because I will tell you, I do not have a medical marijuana card. Maybe I'm just growing it on the defensive assumption that I would be, de facto innocent. It's a low priority for investigation, prosecution, etc. Maybe I could get away with it, and then just, at some point down the road, I would just get the medical card, and then it would be legit. So I wonder if I put this podcast out and say, with certainty, I have 15 large, nearly blooming pot plants in my garage, would the cops come beating down the door? Because clearly this whole podcast is fiction, right? I mean, it is, right? Clearly it is. If I was doing that, I certainly wouldn't say it. And if I was doing it and wouldn't say it, well, anyway, you get the idea. There's so much deniability either way. I'm just wondering, is this binding? Is this sufficient for a warrant? Are the cops going to come kick down my door looking for 15 large, very ripe pot plants which may or may not exist? And don't. They don't exist. I'll just tell you that right now, as far as you're concerned. Maybe I have a pound of weed in my house, which I personally grew. Maybe I do. Clearly I don't. As I already said, I don't have lights set up or anything. So getting that kind of yield would be a little challenging. And I've never taken any weed classes or anything. And even though I know of a grower, he's never given me advice. So if I did know anything about growing pot, it would just be what I learned online. So my question is, I guess I have a few questions. One is, would you like some pot? Because clearly I've got more than I know what to do with. Another question would be, are the cops coming for me? Do they listen to my podcast? Would they take your complaint seriously? And I guess my last question is Taco Bell still open? Because it's late and I'm really tired, but I'm really hungry. So just kind of what I'm thinking there, It's legal to grow it if you have a permit, which I don't.